everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heike, this is Lola's butt. Lola is my little furry assistant and she is 100% ready for this today. And you're watching Stone Cold Coffee Crafts. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome in general if you're new here. I am so ecstatic, I'm actually sitting down now and filming this Flosstube. It is October 30th. It is 6:40 in the evening. I have no idea when this is actually going to go up. Lola is exceptionally cute today, as you can see. Yeah, buckle up because I think this might become a long one. I think it's been 5 weeks since my last proper Flosstube. So I have pretty much everything today. I have a finished object, I have a new start, I have 4 whips I have worked on since we had a Flosstube the last time. I have haul, and of course there are some plans, but no big plans, not right now. So yeah, I better get started. But first up, you might have noticed I didn't put a kitty clip in front of this at the beginning of this video like I usually do. That's because I have a bit of a different kitty clip for you today. A lot of you have asked for Nelly, but one just doesn't get Nelly whenever he or she wants Nelly. You only get Nelly when she wants to give you Nelly. So I will give you Nelly. I apologize for the horrible lighting situation, but that's basically my bedroom at night when just my bedside lamp is on, and I don't use the flash or flashlight on my phone ever because most of the pictures I take are of the cats. So I have that permanently disabled because I don't want to blind my poor pets. And that's why the lighting in this clip is horrible, but I mainly included it for the sound because that's Nelly. She does that to me every single night, so I hope you enjoy. Alright, that was a lot of Nelly. And she was straight in your face. Just like Lola, but that's nothing new. So let's get started on this. Like I said, I have a finished object, and if you follow my daily crafty chats, which are anything but daily, sometimes they aren't even weekly at the moment, you have seen this before. This is the cat wearing the midnight way. Kitty, can I please show the people without you trying to murder me? Oh god, she's on. She misses our filming. When I'm filming right now, it's usually so early in the morning that even that one isn't awake. So she's really missing it. She was already up on the table before I even had the lamp up. Well, let's get back to this piece, shall we? If you watch my rather not daily crafty chats, you have already seen it. I have finished this at least a couple of weeks ago, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But this is now done. It is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Halloween stitch along for this year. and it is so adorably stinking cute. Going to show it to you up close, trying to avoid the cat ripping it apart. Might be harder than it looks. This is not me, this is the cat, by the way. So the first clue on this was this little shop here, Broomhilda's Broom Shop. The second one was Cats and Beds Pet Shop. The third one was Ghost Rider's Bookshop. And then the last part, the fourth part, was the text and the little accessories down here. So this is absolutely stinking cute. I actually wanted to have this framed by Halloween, but to be honest, I'm absolutely horribly inept at finishing stuff, even if it's just framing. I don't know why. It's a little bit like with my knitting. I do the knitting and then all I have to do now is block that thing, and I never block that thing. I still haven't blocked a single project that I've finished, and I think I have now 4 finished projects. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, this is done, and I am very, very happy with it. I purchased it. I purchased the pattern from the Foster Pumpkin Stitchery, and then I sourced my own materials, but they might still have kits available. I don't know. Check them out. The link is in the description box down below. Kitty. I originally started with the DMC Etoile. Some of the black you see in here is glittery, like the lamppost, the bats here in the door, the little candle dish down here, that little ornament on the side here. That's all in glittery black floss, and I started out with DMC Etoile because I still had that. I had purchased that when I did the Alice in Wonderland stitch along from Satsuma Street, I think it was. So I thought, well, let's go for that, but I found that it's not glittery enough for me. So after I had finished this first clue, I went back and purchased the Petite Treasure Braid, which is a little bit more sparkly, but it's not like in your face sparkly. It's just a nice touch. I adhered to the pattern as much as I could. I made a few adjustments, like I did all the back stitching on this just with 1 thread. I usually find that 2 threads is too bulky for me. I don't like the look. I've stitched a couple of Frosted Pumpkin patterns in the past, and that's pretty much been true for both of them everywhere where there was back stitching. So I decided to go with just 1 strand for anything that's back stitching on this piece, and I think that was a good decision. And I made 1 involuntary change on the door, which is I used the wrong orange to stitch this. This should have been the lighter orange. I think you can see in the cat that we have 2 shades of orange. This should have been the lighter one. I took the darker one, and when the door was finished, my oranges were not just reversed. I also didn't like the contrast they had. So originally the door only had the black bat, and everything else that is black on my door was supposed to be orange. Didn't like it. I frogged the lighter color and decided to go back in and fill that in with the black to give it a little more contrast, and I like this much better. I also went back and put some bigger crosses over the orange here in the bow. Full disclosure, I also switched up the oranges in the bow. I don't know what was wrong with me that night. I kept switching up the oranges, which is very weird. I mostly kept up with this until my favorite month of this year happened, which was September, where everything went to crap for me and I had to drop one of my stitch-alongs for a little bit, which was this one here, but I finished it and caught up and was done well in time before Halloween actually hit, so I could have had this finished, but that's, I guess, not me. So yeah. That is my finished object. Like I said, I had a new start. I finally, after months and months of looking for the right fabric for it. Didn't just find the fabric, I also finally started stitching her. So this was my new start on Cathedral Wood Goddess by Mirabilia Nora Corbett. She was the first Mirabilia I absolutely fell in love with, and I'm going to put this a little bit over here so I can put the picture in here. I saw her and I fell in love with her, and I had to have her, and I purchased the pattern, and I think I've been looking for the right fabric since the beginning of the year. So this is a Winter Sky. Kitty, please don't lick the plastic. This is Winter Sky, I believe, by the craftykitten.co.uk. And I think this is going to be the perfect fabric to stitch her on. Kind of excited to see how it turns out. It is a 28 count. I generally prefer to stitch things that are including beads on a 28 count instead of a 32 like the pattern actually calls for, especially if I'm using hand-dyed fabric, because that usually always shrinks a little bit and is not exactly the size advertised anymore after the dyeing process. So yeah, this was my high tea new start for October high tea. High tea new start is something that Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts does, and she decided for 2020 that she was going to have one very special new start at the beginning of each quarter. So there was one for January, for April, for July, and now for October. As you might remember, my April one was my long dog sampler, and my July one was a huge big fail. This was supposed to be my Rosewood Winter Quaker, but I did not like the very first color I picked from this pattern. I did not like how it turned out on the dwarf fabric, so I have yeah, you're so cute. I have pretty much scrapped that one right away, and I'm going to restart it on a fabric I think is going to be better suited for the colors in the pattern. I have not found that yet, but full disclosure, I also haven't looked for it yet. Fabric is my downfall. Yeah. So this is what I have so far. This is one day of stitching. I have not gone back to it since October 1st because there are so many things I want to keep up with. But hopefully next month I'll finish at least 2 of my current projects. I'm hoping 3, but 2 will be finished for sure, and then I have a little bit more space and can do other things that have been very neglected, and I'm looking at them right now. They are staring at me judgingly. Anyway, my new start. So whips, in which order are we going to look at the whips? I think in the order I worked on them. That would mean we are going to look at this one first, and that is The Dark Queen of the Seas by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It is a year-long stitch-along. They have started on September 1st, so this is 2 parts in. As you can see, she is going to be a big project. This is 2 parts. It's a lot of stitching. It's also a lot of fun. So the first part was the 3 fish, and the second part was yeah, all that you can see of her. So she's going to have blue skin. That's something we learned in this part. And she has these beautiful corally hips. I like this detail so much. And this one was a bit of a journey for me. I stitched everything except for the skin pretty quickly. I think it took me like 2 sittings. It's very blocky, it's very color blocky, so it stitches up really fast. It's really deceptive, this size, at least as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if other people feel differently about it, but for me it stitches up super fast. And then I was humming and hawing about the skin. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the skin 1/1 because I'd seen pictures and I liked how it looked on the pictures, but I wasn't so sure if I really wanted to do this to myself. And that took me a whole night to decide. And then the next day when I came back to this, I thought, well, if you don't try. And I went for it, and I think I was like maybe 10-12 stitches in, like normal stitches, so you have to take that times 4, because if you stitch 1/1, each of the stitches you are seeing there is actually 4 stitches then afterwards. So I was like 10 or 12 normal stitches in when I realized I had already made a mistake at the very first stitch I made, so I had to frog it all out. Frogging 1/1 is not fun, and if you have pets and you constantly get pet hair into your stitching, it is twice as hard to do so, because the pet hair actually acts a bit like felting. So it was a nightmare. And while I was ripping it out, I actually swore to myself, no, I'm never ever going to do 1/1 skin again in my life. But ripping the few stitches out took so long that in the time it took me to do it, I had convinced myself to give it another try, but do 2/1 10 stitch, which means only a half cross stitch, but with 2 threads, so you get pretty much the same coverage. If you look close up, it doesn't look like a cross, but you have to look really close up to actually see, really up close to really see that. So yeah, I tried that again, and I actually managed to stitch it without a mistake. I tried it with this first color up here first, because this was the easiest to start with, and I thought that it would be easier to rip that out than anything that had more contact with the other stitches around here. Yeah, I did that, I looked at it, and I hated it. I hated how it looked. I like it when I see it on other people's projects, so I have no issue whatsoever with anyone else who does 1/1 skin and does the rest 2/2. But it's a bit like in diamond painting with crooked drills. I have no big issue with that if I see it on other people's diamond painting. If I do it on my own, it drives me up the wall. So yeah, I ripped it yet again and finally decided, you know what, 1/1 skin, it's just not for me. Let's do it 2/2, be happy with it, and done within, I don't know, 90 minutes. So I wasted a lot of time on this, but I think the 2/2 does look pretty good, and I think Cassandra has since that she does not recommend doing the skin 1/1. So I guess, yeah, I'm going to trust her judgment. Her husband designed this, so she has to know, right? Anyway, I am looking forward to part 3, which should drop this Sunday, so I'm really excited to see what it's going to be. I have not watched their last Flosstube, and I think she gave a hint that it might be her upper body, and that we can actually choose how do I put this ladylike? We can choose the size of her bosom, I think. Spoiler alert, mine is not going to be very over the top. This is stitched within all the called for floss, and I actually purchased the fabric and bead kit that was particularly designed for this pattern by Under the Sea Fabrics. This stitch along is a collaboration between Autumn Lane Stitchery and Under the Sea Fabrics. This fabric is called Bewitched, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it is, in my case, a 28 count pearlescent linen, because that's just who I am. I thought a little bit of bling in the fabric would be quite nice. And yes, so far I am loving this. I am really looking forward to what it's going to be next month, as in day after tomorrow. This is also going to be the first project I'm stitching on in November. Or is it? No, I might reconsider that because there's something else coming up. So, Kitty, move your butt. So the next project on the frame was the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Chinese Zodiac stitch along, and as you can see, we are just one drop away from a finish here. I'm so excited. I can't wait for this to be done because it is so pretty. I absolutely love this piece. So this month was the 7th drop, and as always with the uneven drops, it's the little critters. We had the rooster, we had the dog, and we had the, I think it's boar. It's not a pig, it's a boar. Yeah, which completes the zodiac circle in this case. And on the 15th of November, we are going to get the final part, which is going to be the 4th corner and all the little flowers and lanterns and stuff in the middle. And I have mentioned this before, also in my last Daily Crafty Chat, I think it was, I mentioned this. I am still thinking about frogging this upper right fan because I'm not super happy with the contrast between the bamboo and the blue in the background. It is just a bit too meh, and I really like how this corner looks, and there is a color that is right between this one, look, the cat is bumping me, and this one. And I think I would like to, kitty, push, 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 push. I would like to restitch this with this other color that is a bit darker than this blue here. It would also mean that I have to rip out the whole fan, I believe. But that should be fine. If it looks better in the end, I'm fine with it. And as you can see, for this fan here, I have used 2 strands of backstitch. For the bamboo, it's not too bad, but I'm not a big fan. It's a bit more obvious down here in the flowers because that half stitch of yellow pretty much covers up the red that's underneath. And for this corner, I only did 1 strand, which is a bit fainter. But overall, I like it better. So I think I'm also going to remove the few strands of backstitch here and put them back in with just 1 strand. I'm thinking about that. Also, I still haven't decided if I'm going to backstitch around the horns up here in the bowl, because you can't really see that on the fabric. Again, this is stitched with all the called for fabrics. I got the full kit, including a needle minder. This is separate, not part of the kit, but it belongs to the stitch. Directly from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery when they first released it. And I am stitching this on 28 count sand linen by Picture This Plus. I think this is sand. It is a gorgeous color. I love it to death. It's just not good for white. It's too light to stitch directly with white on it. You need a lot of light to actually see that. So you have these little horns on the dragon and the bellies of the animals. They are not so bad, but the horns up here and here, I think I'm going to do some probably medium gray backstitch or something like that. I have to think about that. I only made a few adjustments. As you can see, I added beads in the lanterns. I'm going to give you a close-up of that so you can see that. These are golden Toho beads. And I also switched out the color of the mane and the tail of the horse because that was charted in this color here. And this is very, very, very close to this color. It is just a couple of shades darker. And it does look a lot different on screen in the slide, but when it's stitched, it actually didn't have enough contrast for me to like it. So I ripped that out again and restitched it with purple, and it's totally a super funky horse, but I like it. So I am fully expecting this to be my finish, one of my hopefully 3 finishes in November, but not my first. Because I think my first finish in November, and actually first thing I'm going to work on, is going to be my center strip by Barbara Anna. This is another stitch along. It is a 9-part stitch along that is going to finish day after tomorrow when the final little corner down there drops, which is for sure going to be some house pattern, because as you can see there is a clear pattern what is going to drop where. And yeah, this is going to be the first thing I'm going to pick up again, and I'm going to finish for November. And I can't wait for it because I love this so much. I enjoyed stitching it like nothing else. There's nothing I don't like. The border was a dream. I stitched that right when the first part dropped. I stitched the first part and the whole border. Took me about 2 weeks, I think, but I loved every minute of it. And since then I have stitched every little ornament-sized part whenever it dropped. Again, all is called for. My only adjustments is that I am using 28 count instead of 38 count. This is Dirty Linen by Zweigart. And I have exchanged a few of the stitches for beads because I just like to add this little detail into Barbara's designs. They are very primitive and simple, and I think these beads just add a little bit of oomph to it. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of putting it in single stitches, like for all these snowflakes, that's all single stitches. And I'm not the biggest fan of doing that, especially if I work on a linen where I might see the thread if I carry it. Which could easily happen on this one, to be honest. So I've switched out all the single stitch snowflakes for Toho beads in, it's not a white, but it's also not a cream. It's something in between. It's an off-white, like a winter white, with a bit of a pearlescent coating. I have switched out some of the beads in, for example, Rudolph's color and the little cat's color, and in the star there in the middle for the golden Toho beads I'm also using on the Chinese Zodiac. And I have given 3 of the critters Santa and Mrs. Santa are riding on a red bead nose. The noses were actually charted in red, so I thought it would be fun to have them as beads as well, because it gives them a little bit more of a shine than just a stitch would have done. Sadly, Mr. and Mrs. Santa riding on the pig didn't give me a chance to use the beads because the pig did not have a red nose. But yeah, I am so looking forward to seeing this done, and I have to look into frames because I really want to have this up for Christmas season. It is amazing, and Lola is lying on my midnight way and she's going to crease it to hell. It needs to be ironed anyway. So that's 2 of the projects I hope to finish, but there's another one I really hope to finish in November because I want to frame it and give it away to my mother-in-law. And that is the 12 Days of Christmas by Little House Needleworks. As you can see, I'm nearly done with the 12 words. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I enjoy stitching borders. I enjoy that so much. I think I haven't encountered a border yet that I hate. I've encountered a border I don't exactly love, which is the one on Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. I'm not madly in love with that one, but I still haven't found one that I hate. The one thing I always detest, at least, is stitching words. I think the only time I liked stitching words was on my Beautiful Things sampler by Lindy Stitches, because those letters were so beautiful. They looked like branches. That was really beautiful. These, though, no, they put me to sleep. That's why it's taking me so long. So I really need to sit down. I'm going to do that tomorrow because once again today I'm extremely tired and I have to edit this and upload this, and by the time this has happened my day is pretty much over. But I have to sit myself down tomorrow and finish these words so I can get a move along. And I am going to put this a bit over here so I can put the picture up here so you can see what it's actually going to look like. Another thing that's slowing me down is for sure the colors. I know that my mother-in-law will love them. For me, you see what I stitch. I'm a bit of a bright color girl, so this is extremely boring to me. But I'm making my way through it, as you can see. I have 2.5 of these lines left, and I'm going to finish those this weekend, hopefully even a little bit more. And the big plan is to finish the whole thing by the end of November. I really want to do that because I need to get rid of it. I don't know yet what Christmas is going to look like here this year, but I at least want a present I can give her, even if we might not be able to see each other on Christmas like we had planned. I've said that before, my mother-in-law's birthday is on Christmas Day, so usually we see her on Christmas or a couple of days after, and this year this might not happen. Yeah, let's just put it that way. It might not happen. So let's talk plants. I have given away some of my plants already. I want to finish 2 of my stitch alongs. I want to keep up with the Dark Queen of the Seas, and I want to finish the 12 Days of Christmas. There is also going to be a new start, most likely, and I have just ordered something from 1 to 3 Stitch, but I think I'm going to talk about this when it's here. It might be here for my next Flosstube. Usually 1 to 3 Stitch, if we're not in the middle of the height of a pandemic, which was in April, May, June, is usually here very fast. So I will talk about that the next time. But what else have I planned? Actually, not much. That's pretty much it. I want to finish these 3 things, and I want to keep up with the Dark Queen of the Seas. I guess that's enough to keep up with, because I have had, I would say, 2 to 3 pretty busy weeks at work right now, and November is probably going to be just as bad, if not even worse. December then, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because I pretty much only work the first 4 days of December, and then it's bye vacation for the rest of the year. I did hardly take any of my vacation this year, so that's why I have still a lot left. Okay, that leaves us with haul, and it's considering that my last Flosstube was like 5 weeks ago, it's not a lot. I hope you're not going to be too shocked. So let's start with patterns I purchased. I have purchased 2 more patterns from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and let me pull that up because I never can remember the names. So I purchased the Lunar Witch, which Aaron showed as his original digital drawing in, I think, in a Flosstube in August, and then he promised that it would be out in September or something. They always tease each other. He's always saying it's going to be out soon, and she's saying, yeah, that means like next year, Christmas or something like that. So I really wanted that. And he kept his promise. He released it, and it is out. You can buy it on their Etsy shop. And I absolutely love this. I have never stitched something like this, but this style is very appealing to me, which is also the reason why I couldn't just buy one. Apparently these witches are like chips. You can't just have one. So I also went and got the Potions and Spells, which is that which he showed, I think, in the Flosstube after he released the Lunar Witch. And I don't know why I didn't purchase her right away, but I didn't. And I think he showed her in the one after that one, and I thought, whoa, I need that one too. Because apparently I don't have enough patterns I'm never going to stitch because I'm just one person. But yeah, I'm a bit of a collector, we all know that. So what else did I get? got? I got the, oh, that was something I was actually not aware of. I have browsed this shop many times, but this pattern picture is kind of, it's not the best she could have chosen, because it actually makes this pattern not jump at you at all. It's like 500% interesting if you browse through the shop, but it's The Christmas Carol by the Primitive Hare. I love this story. It's my favorite Christmas story. I watch the movie every single year. I personally, I think I'm going to be the weirdo again. I personally prefer the one with Jim Carrey, the weirdly animated one. I don't know why, that's the one I love the best, but I also like to watch the Muppet version. The version that I've seen the least, and I think that's always on television the least as well, as the one with Patrick Stewart. And every other version I don't know. I've seen it in the actual theater, like on stage theater, at least twice, I think. And it's just my favorite story. And I didn't know that the Primitive Hare had a sampler. I think she posted it on her Instagram a few days ago, like a flash from the past, because this pattern is actually from 2012, I believe, or 14. It's very old already, and that made me go to her shop instantly and buy it, because I forget this stuff and I didn't want to forget about that. No idea when I'm going to stitch this, but I'm just going to say I'm going to love the crap out of this border. I can already tell this much. So that's what I got. And last but not least, I also got the new Lindy Stitches pattern, which is the I don't have the picture up here and I didn't save it. It's the Friendship Dumpster Fire Friendship sampler she just released. I'm going to put the proper name up here, but her newsletter came out yesterday and I saw that and I just laughed, because yes, it is so fitting for this year, and yes, there are friends like that, and you are not going to be surprised. In my case, it's Rachel and Jessie from Rachel Raycraft and Mislaid Pages. They have been my dumpster fire friends. They have been my constant open ear during September. They still are now, but right now I don't think I'm using their open ear. Hopefully I don't use their open ear as much as I have in September, because that would really get annoying at some point. But yeah, they have been the ones for me, so I thought, yep, this is so fitting and I need to buy it. So I went and bought it, of course. Because that's what we do. Yeah. And you know what? Let's keep going with the Lindy Stitches, because I just received this. And I have to pull my screen back up so I can see what I'm doing. I just received this, which is a super cute kit by Lindy Stitches in this gorgeous 805 stitcher bag she provided with it, and it's her 3-part pattern. It has this little crown zipper pull. It's totally cute. It's also my first vinyl bag. You know I'm an Evertotes girl, so I usually buy Caroline's bags. But Jessie and Rachel told me, there they are again, told me about this new pattern she released, and I might have thought it would be a good idea to go to her homepage straight away in my drunken state. I was not blindly drunk, but I was on my way there. And check it out. And on the front page she had that kit, and I was all, yes, I need to buy that. When she released the blue-footed booby kit, she still had the Etsy shop, and I don't know why, but the Etsy shop told me that shipping to Germany was not possible, which is why I didn't buy it. And then Rachel bought it, and yeah, it's going to be my birthday present whenever that huge package arrives here. It's going to be awful, because there's going to be so much stuff in there I bought. I might have abused Jessie's friendship a little bit. But yeah, back then I couldn't, and then Stephanie Webb from Lindy Stitches opened her own shop on her own website instead of Etsy, and I thought let's see if she ships to Germany when I saw this, and she did. And then I went back into the chat and told the girls I got the kit, and they were, what kit? So I might have enabled them. But let's talk about this. The pattern is called Autumn Royalty, and it is these 3 birds: the Count of Candy, the Prince of Pies, and the Lord of Gourds. They are adorable. I'm actually not a bird person. I don't know why Stephanie can enable me to want to buy all the birds. I have literally no idea. But it's all 3 patterns. And the kit also comes with the specialty floss for these patterns, which is all xJuDesign. So we have Arrowhead, which is this light tan color, tan to cream. We have Molasses, which is dark brown. We have Concord. Concord is the violet. Actually fits my sweater. We have Curry. I think I have another skein of Curry for the Frosted Pumpkin Zodiacs. So this is Curry. We have Cinnamon Twist. Cinnamon Twist was also in the Strutting Tom. This stitches up beautifully. We have Amber. Amber is this yellow here. And we have Clockwork, which is this orange. There's a lot of this orange in the Merry Merry Needleworker. I really need to kit up that one because I want to do that next year. And specialty threads are a bit difficult right now. Though xJuDesign I think is not as bad as others. She gave us one of her little stickers that you can put on the back of your framed work and basically put in all the data, what it's called, who stitched it, when it was stitched, if there's anything special to say about that. I think she sells those in the shop too. And then she gives the rickrack to finish. Which one did she finish with the rickrack? The Prince of Pies is finished with the rickrack here. So yeah, why would you want to eat the bird that is just paper cat? She gives a lot of this rickrack. I think that's like 4 times as much as you need to make this little pillow down here, probably even more. I like how that looks. I really need to learn how to. And then you get a bit of a special note and this little mouse pattern, which is her free pattern she gives away with each package she sends out. That's the second one she designed. The first one was this little turtle. I think she sent out a couple of thousand of this one before she decided to retire him. Come on. She's trying to climb my shelf unit. And she did also something else, which I have to show you. Boop boop. Because I still have the envelope, and she drew on every single envelope she sent out and personalized it. So I couldn't throw that out. I still have it. What she also did, which was very nice, she sent everyone a little video clip thanking you personally for your order. It was so nice. It's just the little touches like that that make something that should be so ordinary, like an online purchase, so special, and you only ever will get that from a small business. Let's be honest about that. So, hi baby, can I convince you not to do that? Thank you. Then of course I purchased some more fabric. So I had one of these impulse buys from Etsy, from Polstitches Design. Polstitches Design is a fabric dyer in, I think they are in Wales. but they also have, and they do custom orders. You can choose whatever fabric you want in their shop, but they also sometimes put ready to ship pieces of fabric into the Etsy shop, and I all the time fall for it. Thankfully, most of the time they put even weave in there, and I am not a big fan of even weave, so I do not purchase that any longer. And yeah, but this time they did linen, and this is their color Fallen Leaves, and it's this mixture of pretty much every color in the kitchen sink. It looks extremely dark on screen right now. It's not that dark, but let me show you the whole piece. So everything that looks super dark in here is not that dark. I don't know why the camera does that, especially because it makes this contrast here really violent, in my opinion. That's not what it looks like. It's actually a pretty soft transition from this golden yellow into this soft brown into this peachy pink, and then you have spots of green and a little bit of turquoise in there as well. It is a very, very pretty autumnal fabric, and I think that some kind of Mirabilia or Bella Filipina would be so pretty on that. But this was my impulse purchase. The only one, I might add. Because the other two fabrics I have here from Polstitches were actually custom orders I made. And I made those, oh, I believe in July. It's been a while, it's been a hot minute. I actually had to check what was up with my order, because usually Polstitches doesn't take that long. But this order I think took like 8 or 9 weeks before it even shipped out. So that was quite a long time. That's why I usually don't take the fabric out of the packaging, because she has a tendency to try to lie on it, to eat the fabric, to pretty much destroy everything. That's why I usually leave it in the bags, but it's really hard to show you in the bags. Especially if there's a lot going on, like with that fabric. So these two here are a little less exciting. This is their color Spun Gold. It's a 28 count opalescent, and I actually purchased this to stitch one of my Mirabilias on, which is the Miss Christmas Eve. To be honest, I thought I was going to get a gold. What I got is more like a buttercup yellow, in my opinion, which is not a problem. I have something that would look perfect on this, because I have something that is intended to be stitched on a very yellow Picture This Plus fabric. The name I have forgotten, and is going to be on the screen now. And I am not even going to try to get that one, because getting Picture This Plus right now is a nightmare. I think this is going to work just fine, and that's what I'm going to use for that. But it is, yeah, it is putting me back on square one with that Mirabilia, so I have to get another fabric for that. But I have a couple of fabrics I think that will work very fine. One is, what is her name? Dying for Cross Stitch? I'm not entirely sure. One of the dyers out there that used to sell only on Facebook and now has her own homepage. She has a fabric that is called Gilded, and I think that might look good, but my favorite so far is Under the Sea Fabrics, and it is a gold fabric. Williamsburg Gold, I think, is the name. That is currently my front runner, and I'm thinking about getting that one. So a little bit of a fail, but not 100%. And then I have this one here, which is Nature's Grace, and I got this one as a potential companion fabric to the Cathedral Woods Goddess, because you might remember I have the Rain Queen or something. Nora Corbett did another piece that looks like a less refined Cathedral Woods goddess. It's like she has less colors. She doesn't look as detailed as the Cathedral Woods goddess, and she released that as a Black Forest something pattern, and I think this is the Black Forest Rain Queen or whatever. I'm going to put a picture in. I purchased, no, I did not purchase the pattern. This pattern was gifted to me by my friend Dani, and I thought she might look nice with her pinks and blues and grays. She might look nice on this green. I'll have to see when I have all the floss, if I like it, when I do the floss toss, but I think this is going to be a pretty good fabric for that. So that's what I purchased this for. And then we have Fortnite Fabrics. This is the fabric of the month September. October shipped yesterday and August is still somewhere. That's international shipping for you. So both September and August actually arrived at customs in Frankfurt pretty much the same time. This one moved forward and I could collect it now. The August one, who knows? No one knows. So the neutral is called Burgundy Truffle, and is this, yeah, it's a reddish brown tone, very light though, and I got this in a 36 count linen. This is going to be very pretty for anything, I think. This might have even been good for the bird sampler by Lindy Stitches, the beautiful things. Might have worked well. And then we have the Morning Glory, which comes out much brighter than it actually is. This is a lovely blue. I absolutely adore this. I have to check out something to stitch on this soon because this is fantastic. I have to say July and now September are fantastic colors. The purple blue and this blue, oh, absolutely adored. Also 36 count because I have talked about it many times. I prefer linen in either 28 or 36, especially hand dyed, because 32 is this weird in between size where one thread is too little, two threads is too much in my book. So that's why I chose that. Fortnite Fabrics does not offer 28 count linen, sadly. Not entirely sure why, but And then last but not least, you're nearly done. I purchased a couple of pieces of fabric from my fabric dyer par excellence on Etsy. You all know her because she is now being carried in a lot of other shops around the world too. Jukus from xJuDesign, and she did a few blues recently. And this is a color she calls Sampler Blue Light, I think is what this word is. Yeah, this is a 28 count, and it is this. It also comes out much darker than it actually is. It is more muted. It looks a bit like she, like if she had used the blue dye on a lightly tan linen. That's what it looks like. It has this soft tan undertone, and it's really pretty. It is a medium. I would say it's like 931, DMC 931, I think, or 932. 932 probably. That's what this color is like. So it comes out a little darker on the screen. This is the silk I got as a present. I don't know which color it is. It doesn't say, sadly, but it's also very pretty color, and her silk floss is very soft. I enjoy that very much. And recently she has started carrying opalescent linen, and I am a sucker for a good opalescent linen. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. Just not on the dark fabrics. I prefer it on the light colors. Because on the dark, the opalescent thread tends to be in your face. For real. so I prefer it on the lighter ones. And this is a 36 count linen. The color is called Old Blue. She also had this in non-opalescent fabric, so if you are not the blingy type, you might want to look out for the non-opalescent, because this is a very pretty light blue that is a bit muted. It comes out okay-ish on screen. It's a bit too much blue here. Again, it's a little more muted. I'm mangling my words badly today. But we're nearly done. So yeah, that's the purchase I made, and I just yesterday asked her to dye a couple of pieces of fabric for this project I am hopefully going to talk about in a couple of weeks, because that is going to be very close to my heart, especially after the poop show 2020 has turned into for me personally recently. Yeah, still trying to take it with a lot of humor, and I think I've been successful so far, but I sure hope that that's it now for the year. I can't any longer. No more, please. Anyway, guys, you have made it. This is the end of today's Flosstube. It is an hour long. Dear God. But I knew it would be, because 5 weeks is a long time, and you know me, I'm chatty. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't scare you away if you're new here. And I just realized I forgot to mention I also got another owl forest. I filmed an unboxing and it was uploaded yesterday on October 29th, and of course I forgot the box, so I didn't bring the box in here. I'm going to put the pictures in. I purchased Swan Lake, another owl forest kit. If you're interested in a closer look at the threads and the fabric and the needle mind and stuff, watch yesterday's video, it's all in there. But no, for real, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and yeah, be back tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be the diamond painting theme of the month wrap up for October. So stay tuned. All right, guys, bye bye.